Yeah, obviously excited for us to get this first win. I mean, really happy and proud of the guys and the grit and the resiliency they showed tonight. And it obviously was not a lot of things we got to be better. There's a lot of areas we have to be better, but very proud of the grit and the resiliency that our group showed. Brandon was fantastic. I thought for the entire game. Javon, very strong second half that we really needed. And key part in the game, in our opinion, was the end of the first half when we finally were able to get our defensive pressure to the point where it created some offense for us. It gave us some momentum going into halftime. I think we were down 8 at halftime. And then in the second half, we just kind of chipped away. And, wish we could make some free throws at the end. It wouldn't have made it, obviously taking it to the last few seconds of the game. But so much respect for Coach Gary, Mercer's program, their players. I think they're just an extremely well-coached team. And we were fortunate, and a big reason was what we just talked about, but also this crowd here in Minges I thought was incredible. And they were the difference, and just very grateful for that.
All right, questions?
Coach, down 16 the first half, I'm not sure how you draw it up, but just to see the guys fight back and not get rattled, and a lot of guys first time playing here. What would that mean to you?
I'm not sure if we weren't rattled. I think we probably were rattled. But again, I think there's an excitement. The crowd was so great. Our guys were juiced up, and give Mercer credit. I mean, not only were they were hitting us on the glass, they were making shots. Some of those shots they made were shots that, honestly, mid-range, long contested twos, you want to force some of those, and they were making them. I mean, McCreary was really good making that shot. Sean Walker was really good playing in there. But see, what we just talked about this as a team, though, you can't have the breakdowns when a team is shooting like that or when a team is making it, and that's what happened. We started having breakdowns, not rebounding the basketball, not being where we needed to be defensively, and then we compounded it by taking tough shots on offense. Everyone started, and it wasn't out of selfishness at all, but what it's out of is guys saying, I got to find a way to get us back into it. And when we settled down again was the end of the first half, when our defense started to create a little bit of offense for us, and that momentum carried through the second half. But it was trying to get us to settle down, Steve, to try and get them to concentrate on defense and rebounding. And if we could get the game to where that was what we were solid in, maybe we could chip away, and they did.
What went into your decision to close the game with the 5 you chose? 3 starters, Quentin and Benjamin. What was the decision behind that?
Well, I thought that Benjamin brought so much physicality to our team on defense and rebounding. He was really locked in. You just look at that play that he made to foul Luis Hurtado going up the floor with 1.1 seconds left. We wanted to foul if, we knew if by chance we were up 3, and which meant we didn't make one of those 2 free throws when Jaden was on the line, we knew we wanted to foul. We really wanted to foul on the rebound, to not even put a chance for any kind of shooting foul. But I thought Ben did an incredible job feeling it out and realizing he could still execute the foul, and he did it. And so Ben just brought a lot of maturity to the game defensively and rebounding. Quentin to step in there and make free throws. RJ was actually cramping up. So that's why we brought Quentin in, because RJ was struggling. He just caught a cramp late in the game because how hard he was playing, so he caught a cramp. And then obviously with 1.1 seconds, we went, what would that be called? Coach Houston would call it the jumbo lineup. We went jumbo, and we brought in Luigi and Ezra and Brandon to hopefully secure 1 rebound, and Ezra did that.
Quentin had scored all day, stepped up, hit 2 big free throws, and then Ezra with the rebound and steal. Is that kind of the winning plays you got to make? Maybe not the glorious plays, but the winning plays?
I think that's a great point, and we did talk about that in the locker room. I think this team is so excited we won, and I think you could feel it in that locker room. But I don't think there's any doubt that Ezra would have loved to have played more, or Quentin would have loved to have played better. But the fact that you could stay engaged and come in and make 2 of the biggest plays of the game, that says a lot. And I'm really proud of Quentin for that, and proud of Ezra. Ezra's a freshman. Quentin has never been in a situation in college where he had a role or an expectation from his team and coaching staff to play heavy minutes. And he really impacted the game on defense throughout the game. It just didn't happen for him on offense, but he made 2 pretty big free throws that we needed.
Coach, can you take us into that locker room and what that celebration was like and conversation was like after your first win as a head coach?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, here's what it is. I'm soaking wet right now. And the reason being is we take a team ice bath every day after practice, every day. And needless to say, 16 guys in an ice bath together, and it's cold outside. So they don't love it, but they do it, and it's really good. And it's, bottom line is this: when I went in there, they always asked me, hey, you gonna get in this ice bath this time? You gonna get in? And I said, no, guys, I've already done that. But they paid me back pretty good in that locker room. So the locker room was awesome, the guys were awesome, and we just talked about, hey, we have to grow from this game. We have to look at it. Where can we be better? Where are the areas that we know we need to be better for Saturday, and as we keep building forward?
Did you see the hallmarks of maybe that transitional defense and those things you talked about in the preseason tonight?
Yeah, some. Here's what made it difficult, and it always makes it difficult versus a team like Mercer. They had 4 ball handlers on the floor. Their 4-man could handle the ball. So anytime a team has that, that's a great challenge. Not only handle the ball, Luis Hurtado is a 3, he plays the 4 for them, but they run him at the point also. And, so anytime you do that, it's hard to create that kind of tempo and pressure because you got multiple ball handlers, multiple guys that can pass the ball. That's a big deal. And so they made it difficult for us, but there were moments, and I keep alluding to that last 3 minutes of the first half where we went on a 6-0 run. And we had 2 breakaways where we, defensive steals, deflections that led directly to points. And, but we just have to be better, and we'll continue to work on it.
So much youth on this team. What do you think of the maturity by these guys of figuring out a way to win at the end of the game?
Yeah, that's as big as anything. And I'm just, again, so proud, and I told them in there, just so proud of their resiliency and their grit, because a lot of those guys, probably venture to say, every one of them that was on the court down in that game has never been in that situation ever. Never on the court, late game, in a possession game, let alone battling back from 16 and working that. So you had 5 guys that had never been in that situation. So whether that is what we execute defensively, whether that's what we have to execute offense, and then you saw some mistakes because of that. I mean, we wanted the ball in Javon's hand late in that game and Javon tried to hit Brandon on a pocket pass down the lane, and it was a big turnover. I mean, a huge turnover. And being on the free throw line. But you know what? Our guys are going to grow up, and the games like this allow them to grow up even faster. But that's what it's about. That's what we know. We got to grow faster than they're ready to grow up, and we're going to do that.
Coach, you touched on it earlier real fast, but your first experience here at Minji's as a head coach, a pretty good crowd here for a Tuesday night.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was everything I've dreamt about, everything I've thought about. I think we can have the most special home court environment in this conference and one of the most special in the country. The fans were fantastic, and you know what? The truth be known, we don't win the game without the fans. They're the ones that brought it, their energy, their excitement from tip to buzzer, and they brought it. And I'm just so thankful and grateful for the fans here, the fans of Greenville, the students at ECU. They brought it, and they were able to get us over the hump tonight.
You have a lot of guys who've never played together before. You always talk about team defense, but do you think that translated to some of the offensive chemistry? They only turned the ball over 8 times tonight.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you know what happened early in the game? Our guys are really unselfish in practice, and we want that ball moving side to side, and we don't want to take contested shots. I mean, nobody does. I mean, I would say any coach in America doesn't want that. But what happened tonight is not out of selfishness at all. The ball started sticking. It started sticking and holding in guys' hands just a little bit too long. And again, it wasn't because guys were trying to do more. For whatever reason, we got locked up a little bit in the first half. And maybe, again, I go back to it, the way they punched us in the face. They're making shots. They're up big quick. You have a good defensive possession. They still score late clock. You have a good defensive possession. You don't finish it with a rebound. And so what happened was we got a little stagnant on offense. And we needed the defense to get. And once that happened, Javon asserted himself. He started doing what we know he's capable of doing. Guys started moving the basketball. Now it looks like team offense, like you said. Sharing the ball, reading, feeling two, moving the basketball. And I thought in the second half we were much better than we were obviously in the first half.
Anything else?
Thank you guys.
I saw the fist pump after the game. What was that feeling like of, okay, game 1, win 1, I got it?
You know what? There's 2 things I was thinking about. So happy for our guys. So happy for Pirate Nation. That's the first 2 things that went through my head. Just so proud of our guys, particularly the 6 guys that came back. And I'm just so happy for them and proud of them. And I was so happy and proud and just excited to be with Pirate Nation in that moment because it was awesome in Minji's tonight.